Is buying the passport of the world's third smallest country a good idea for you? Let's find out in this episode of Exit West. Hi guys, my name is Kurt Provost, and this is the channel where we explore the crisis the West is going through right now and take a look at the opportunities and options that exist outside of the West. So let's have a look at the world's newest citizenship by investment program for the tiny Pacific island nation of Nauru. Now, for many of you, that may be the very first time you've ever heard of the island of Nauru. For the Aussies on here, we know it well as a result of the detention centre that is based on the island. For everyone else, it's one of the most remote and isolated places in the world. It has an absolutely fascinating history. As a result of the phosphorus reserves that are located on the island, it absolutely boomed and was one of the wealthiest nations on Earth per capita at a period in time. However, that boom came to bust eventually. After a couple of decades, they used up all the resources and they found that there was no agricultural land left, or much of it was ruined as a result of the mining, and also the marine life was severely impacted as a result of the mining. And so they found themselves unable to feed themselves adequately, and so everything has to be shipped in from the outside. Now, I use the term shipped in, it's flown in really, because the island is ringed by reefs that make it quite difficult for ships to gain access. So things are flown in once or twice a week, which makes the cost of living there quite expensive. Now, after that bankruptcy of sorts, they were trying to find ways to bring a sustainable income into the country, so they became a tax haven and subsequently found themselves a haven for money laundering, which eventually got shut down. So since then, they have been largely relying on aid, foreign aid, and Australia has been one of the largest donors. They've become kind of a vassal state of Australia as a result of the strings that are attached to that donor money. Australia has provided over $5 billion over the last couple of decades, which is a monumental amount of money for a country that has only about 10 to 12,000 people living on a small rock in the very isolated Pacific. So it is the third smallest country behind the Vatican City, Monaco, and then Nauru. The population holds one of the highest recorded obesity rates, with 71% of the population being obese. As one hospital, one fire brigade, one post office, and one bank on the island. It is roughly 5 kilometers in length, that island. You can drive it in half an hour. So the picture I'm painting is probably not one that you had in your mind of some paradise Pacific island to live in. It's not probably a place that you're going to want to live in, but that still doesn't mean that the passport isn't potentially useful for you as a second or third passport. So a Nauru passport is not necessarily going to open up the world to you. If you've got a Western passport, you may not care about that, as long as it opens up some of the world to you that you don't have access to because of that Western passport. So it opens up the UK, opens up Hong Kong, UAE, Russia. Russia might be an interesting one if you want to gain access to the BRICS plus geopolitical structure. It is said that geopolitically Nauru is very neutral. However, they largely go along with whatever Australia would like because they don't have their own military. Australia provides the military for them, the military protection. And as a result of the detention centre that is based on Nauru, and Australia is paying roughly $350 million a year into their economy to keep open and keep on there. There's about 100 asylum seekers there at the moment. It was meant to be closed a few years ago, but I don't really think Australia is planning on closing it anytime soon. It's just too convenient to have the out of sight, out of mind effect on a contentious political issue like asylum seekers and refugees. So what are the details in regards to prices? Well, it is priced at 105,000 US dollars for one person to purchase this citizenship, and that is a donation to the government. There are also other fees that are associated with this, bringing the price to around 140, 150,000 US dollars for a single applicant, more if you're applying as a family. And you can have that the processing done within about 3 to 4 months. Is that a good deal? Well, you have to decide for yourself, but personally, I don't think so. I think it's overpriced. Yes, it does look like one of the cheapest options out there. You could compare it with the Vanuatu Citizenship by Investment program, which is around 130,000. There's a bunch of different options with Vanuatu, and you actually have the chance where you can invest your money as part of it. It's not all of it is a donation to the government, so you have the chance that you will receive a return on that investment and that you'll receive your money back in the future. That is more attractive. Also, Vanuatu as a country is somewhere that I could personally live for a period of time. There's a lot more islands, there's mountains, there's volcanoes, there's all sorts of stuff happening there. It's not just a tiny little circle in the middle of the ocean. No offense to the citizens of Nauru, I'm sure they're absolutely lovely people. It's just the negative consequences of the mining that has happened in that island. The isolation of it makes it an unattractive place for many people to base themselves if they're looking for a second home, particularly with the geopolitical stuff still being within the sphere of influence of Australia. As an Australian, I would be looking for somewhere that's outside of that Aussie sphere of influence to expose myself to another world of opportunities, perhaps through the BRICS plus nations or some neutral nations. So with that in mind, I say for me personally, it's not the greatest deal. I am watching this to see how it goes and if the uptake is a lot. I hope it works out well for Nauru. It is a country that's in a tough situation, that is for sure, but with a bit of innovation, I'm sure they will be able to work their way out of it, and this program is a good step forward. In regards to the pricing, the comparison with Vanuatu, I do feel like the Nauru pricing is overpriced for what you are getting, and I think they would have a better result if they actually made it 50,000 or 70,000 rather than 105, but actually 140, 150. So they could really appeal to the bottom end of the citizenship by investment program, seeming as they will most likely call into jeopardy some of those visa-free access that they have already, like the UK, just by running the citizenship by investment program so far. So what do you think about that, guys? I don't believe there are any perfect countries out there. However, I do believe that there could be somewhere that is perfectly suited for you. Is Nauru the perfectly suited option for you? Let me know in the comments below. I'm super curious to hear what you guys think about this, and be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. I appreciate all the sharing of the videos, guys, and I will see you in a future episode of Exit West.